Mixed martial arts is more than just the UFC, with promotions around the world hosting the best fighters, matches, and upsets in the sport's history. This is a list of high-profile shocks away from the Octagon, from broken winning streaks, derailed hype trains, or legends conquered. Welcome to the INC, and these are 5 of the biggest upsets outside the UFC. Pride 33 marked one of the company's rare forays outside Japan, and the Las Vegas crowd were witness to one of the biggest shocks in the sport's history. By 2007, Antonio Rogerio Nogueira was considered one of the sport's top light heavyweights, winning 8 of his past 9, including victories over Dan Henderson and Alistair Overeem.
He's got to get out.
He's fully extended and then Henderson is forced to tap!
His opponent was 22-year-old Thierry Sokoudjou, who was competing in his 4th pro fight and coming off a loss to future UFC star Glover Teixeira. Little Nog entered the fight as a -1600 favorite over the African, and having recently won a boxing medal at the Pan American Games, was expected to dominate the stand-up.
I'm sure he wants to keep his country proud, and Brazil always proud. And
Oh my God! Who would have believed it? Oh my God!
Rogerio down and out. Sokoudjou with some of that African magic to win it.
Sokoudjou ended the fight with a flurry of strikes 23 seconds into the first round, becoming the first man to stop Nogueira and remaining the biggest bookmaker upset in the sport's history. Sokoudjou followed the fight with another shock win over Ricardo Arona, before a journeyman career competing in MMA promotions around the world. Sokoudjou currently holds a 19-18 record, winning his last fight with Australian Fighting Championship in 2017. Miguel Torres was once king of the bantamweight division. Between 2000 and 2009, Torres amassed an unprecedented 37-1 record, with his aggressive brawling style seeing him claim the WEC bantamweight title. At WEC 42, Torres made his 4th defense against 7-0 Brian Bowles. Despite an unbeaten record, Bowles was given little chance of posing a threat to Torres, many seeing the fight as a warm-up ahead of a dream match with Dominic Cruz. Bowles, however, set the tone early, staggering Torres with a right in the opening seconds, before scoring a takedown and landing heavy ground and pound. Torres knew he had to do something to change the flow of the fight, but the aggression that defined his career soon proved his undoing.
But Bowles comes back and now he's got the champ down! Brian Bowles is raining down leather! Is it over? It's over! The streak is over!
The fight was Torres' first loss in 6 years, as well as the first by knockout, making Bowles the new WEC bantamweight champion. The fight proved a turning point for both men, Torres going 7-7 before announcing his retirement in 2016, while Bowles would lose his belt to Dominic Cruz before being arrested for possession and distribution of crystal meth. The bust taking place, ironically, on Stoner Road. The biggest upset in Bellator's history took place in 2016. With 9 wins and 5 first-round finishes, Darrion Caldwell entered Bellator 159 as one of the sport's most exciting prospects, with a one-sided win over former champ Joe Warren, moving him to the verge of the bantamweight title. His opponent, Joe Mango, was a journeyman fighter with a 22-6 record, and despite a 3-fight winning streak, entered the match as an 8-1 underdog. Caldwell dominated the fight from the start, scoring a series of takedowns and, despite not threatening a finish, appeared in complete control of the fight. Caldwell entered the 3rd knowing a similar performance would guarantee him victory, but his attempt to take the fight back to the ground soon went horribly wrong.
Good job by Baby Joe. Ground guillotine, and he is strong.
It's over!
He tapped him. He tapped him. Darrion Caldwell shot in and walked into a guillotine that hands him his first professional loss.
Caldwell submitted to a guillotine 9 seconds into the 3rd round. The 2 men would rematch at Bellator 165, with Caldwell gaining revenge by unanimous decision. Caldwell would fulfill his potential, winning the Bellator bantamweight title and setting his sights on becoming the company's 2nd 2-weight champion. Shinya Aoki is one of Japanese MMA's all-time legends. After losing a decision to Gilbert Melendez, Aoki won 16 of his next 17 fights, winning the one championship lightweight title with over half of his victories coming by first-round submission. At One Championship 49, Aoki defended his title against Filipino fighter Edward Folayan, who entered the match with a 16-5 record and without a stoppage win in 4 years. Aoki used grappling advantage to control the first 2 rounds, leaving an unmatched Folayan resorting to wild spinning kicks in a bid to change the flow of the fight. At the start of the 3rd round, Folayan threw a knee as Aoki shot for a takedown, briefly stunning the Japanese fighter and allowing Full Line to maintain pressure until the referee waved off the bout.
It's perpetual motion from the Filipino, and it is all over! We have a new One Championship lightweight title holder!
Full Line would lose again and regain the title over the next 2 years, and is set to face Aoki again in a high-profile rematch later this month. Former Pride heavyweight champion Fedor Emelianenko is considered one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. Fedor was virtually unbeaten through the first 10 years of his career, with a resume of legends including Nogueira, Coleman, Hunt, Krokop, Sylvia, and many more.
Push kick by Arlovski.
In 2010, Fedor signed with Strikeforce, and after a debut win over Brett Rogers, took on UFC outcast and 6-1 underdog Fabricio Verdum. Fedor started aggressively, dropping Verdum with a flurry of punches and jumping into the Brazilian's guard in a bid to finish the fight. Verdum, a multi-time grappling champion, managed to catch Fedor in a triangle choke, and after repeated attempts to break free, the Russian legend was forced to submit just over a minute into the first round. The win would revive Verdum's career, working his way back to the UFC and winning the company's heavyweight title at UFC 188. Meanwhile, Fedor was never the same and would be finished on 4 further occasions, most recently against Ryan Bader at Bellator 214.
And watch for that right. Oh, it's going to be over. Big shot! And it's all over! Just like that!
And now, time for a few honorable mentions. Michelle Waterson's been part of Invicta's 2 biggest upsets, winning the Atomweight title from Jessica Penne before a submission loss to Harika Turburcio. Josh Berkman caused a stir at WSOF 3 when he became only the second man to submit John Fitch. Tim Sylvia doesn't remember much about his loss to Ray Mercer, although it's easy to see why. This is the INC, and thank you for watching.